Okay, the continuation of when I first met my deceased children. I don't want to say deceased because when you die in Christ and children die in Christ automatically, I don't care what anybody say, they die in Christ automatically. Um, they get to pass go, they get to collect 200,000, go straight to heaven. And when they die, because all my children, I had 6 children that died in utero. Um, all of them, they went straight to heaven. Like God always kept like reassuring me that that's where they were. There, they were with Him, and I never doubted. It was just the pain of things that had happened, the way I lost them, and I had trauma from it. Like one of them, I think it was one of the boys. After I lost him, I had a nervous breakdown, and it was crazy. Like it was crazy because my husband at the time, he was at work, and I lost my baby at home, and I called my brother. No, my phone was off. It was like cut off, like one like I couldn't call out, but people could call in. And the only thing I could call was the only person or whatever I could dial was zero. I could just dial the operator. And I told the operator what happened, and I was so out of it. I don't even think I was making sense because I was having a nervous breakdown. And I was crying on the phone, and the operator felt bad for me. And I was like, she's like, "Do you want me to call police?" I was like, "No, I just need my brother. I just need my brother." And she was like, "What's his number?" I was like, "Can you please put me through to him?" And she did. And she wasn't supposed to because my phone was like halfway cut off. And she put me through, and I talked to him, and I was crying, and he asked me what happened because he, my brother put his to bed for me. So I was like, I told him, I said, what happened? I lost my baby, and I said, I just need you to come over and help me because I said I don't feel right, and I said they gave me this medicine. I said I'm not responding properly. Like I don't feel right, but I was having a nervous breakdown. I didn't know it, and he came over. He calmed me down, and then they got in touch with no, my husband came, and he helped me, got me in the bed and everything, had me take a shower and all that, and I can't repeat. That's when I started repeating myself. Um, when I had a nervous breakdown, and I couldn't like my words, even when I would write, they weren't like how they used to be. So, I remember each, I remember each pregnancy. I remember when I lost them, and I remember why. And the last one, the one I called Munchkin, I really remember that pregnancy because I was going to work at Nikon. I had a really good job, was making money, and I was pregnant, but I got sick and I passed out in the elevator, and I was hoping to keep my child, but what happened was I couldn't. I lost her. I lost her. I remember where I lost her. I started losing her in the elevator of my job. And when I lost her, I lost my job too because I was out for too long and then they had to replace me. So, yeah, I lost her and a good job. It's like I lost a lot of stuff when I lost her. And throughout the years, it was like, I went, especially with my first child. And that's gonna be a whole nother like a testimony because it's gonna be for teaching purposes. Because when you have abortions, whether you want it or not, it's like a haunting in your body. It really is. Um, I know I was I used to be friends with this girl, and we went to the same ministry. We were in a deliverance ministry together, and our pastor um put her through deliverance, but he recorded it for because he was teaching a class and she allowed him. You could literally hear the baby crying, like you could literally hear the baby crying. It wasn't her. You could hear the baby crying because it's a haunting in your body. And I remember for years I was haunted by the fact that I was forced to have that abortion. I was a minor. I didn't have back then. I had no rights. I I had to tell my mom I was forced to do it. I didn't want to. And I was in a relationship with somebody that I really did care about. And it messed up our relationship, as a matter of fact. And then, I don't know. It was a lot that went with that. Um, the trauma, the scarring, like everything. And I found out later on here recently that, usually when there's like repetitive abortions in the family, there's an altar to Molech. It's a god that I forgot who worship. I forgot in the Bible. It was a group of people that worship him, and they would sacrifice their kids to that. And now we know it's like a fallen angel. It's a demon, and we had somebody in the family that was going around there making us young girls get rid of our babies, and we didn't want to. Get with the moms, be in the mom's ears. Yeah, you need to all up in the business, all up in the business. I don't know, blood on their hands or whatever. I know with the first child, with that, I was so distraught. I used to pray when I was like in like junior high a lot, and God would answer my prayers. But then this time, when I got into sin, I stopped praying because I was like in the sin. But with that child, I cried my I I feel like I saw her. Like I used to like get like images of her before I had the abortion. I could see her older, a little bit older, like a kid. But I wasn't treating her right. Like I was not treating her correctly. And then like that's it was like a image of like if I was to have her. And then I was going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I don't want to get into the whole thing of like what happened, why it happened, like who did what. I don't want to, because forgiven and stuff like that. But I will say this that I literally cried myself to sleep. I was bawling because I really didn't want to give up my child. I didn't want to having a boy. I didn't want to do something like that. I didn't believe in that. And I told the Lord, and my mother kept saying, well, the sin's not on you, it's on me because I'm signing the papers, but that's not true. And it was affecting my body and my mind and my emotions. So I cried out to the Lord and I said, God, I don't want to do this. I don't even believe in this. And I was like, can you please help me? And I was like bawling tears. And then he put me to sleep. And then he brought me to a place in my dreams. And it was this beautiful fountain. It's a nice spiritual place. It was like, there's like vines and like foliage everywhere. And it was beautiful. It kind of reminded me of like Italian brick around the place. And I kept feeling like it was down south. Like I thought for some reason it was like I was down south. But it was like in a dream I was supposed to be older. And I saw my sister, this girl that's supposed to be my sister. And she was like 7 years old. And then I was holding my daughter. But it wasn't the one I was carrying then. And I knew that